Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Makrakadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders, great millstones, salutations to the brothers, pushing this word in truth and sincerity and with charity, and risking their lives and freedom to do so. Quick scripture today. You know, the Lord dwells not in temples made by hands, as it mentions in the book of Acts. Alright. Scripture calls them the synagogues of Satan. Alright. Harlot houses. Alright. Because there's no truth, there's no edification coming out of these churches. Alright, they blind Jake. They're really stumbling blocks to Jake. And all they want, you know, they play on the emotions of Jake. So Jake will go ahead and start empty out their bank accounts and put in that basket. Alright. Here the churches tell you that the laws and statutes are all done and away with, but yet pass around a basket for tights, man. Alright. So they play off the emotion of Jake's. You know, I was just talking to a relative the other day, and he was telling me that, you know, he tries to pray to the Lord, and he doesn't go to church. And I was like, that's cool. You know, I ain't get too deep or anything. You know, that's what basically motivated this, inspired this lesson. So, you know, do a quick scripture a day. You know, because when I'm out around relatives, I'm not already tried breaking bread. Other than that, one time I planted the seed and let the Lord do the rest, but I'm not going to keep going into it with them. But I was in agreement, like, yeah, the hell with the churches. You know, but some Jake be feeling bad because they can't make it to church, they don't go to church, or so on and so forth. Man, to hell with them churches, man. They just play on the emotion of Jakes. Let the blind lead the blind. Alright, if they're not speaking according to this word, that there's no light in them. Alright, and every pastor and all that, you know, they commit adultery, they eat swine, they worship idols. Everything that's contrary to the scriptures, man. Everything that the Lord is against is what's happening in these churches, man. Alright. The men of the Lord are going to be out there in the highways and byways, not in the churches. Alright. And I got the scripture in Psalms. Song of Solomon, in the 3rd chapter, real quick. The Song of Solomon 3:1. By night on my bed I sought him, whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. I will rise now and go about the city in the streets, and in the broad ways I will seek him, whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw ye him, whom my soul loveth? Alright, the watchmen that are about the city, man. The men of the Lord, the watchmen, that's going to warn you, the prophets, that's going to tell you things before it even happens, prophesying, are going to be out there in the highways and byways, in the streets. Not these churches, man. Alright? All they're going to do is empty out your pockets. You know, commit adultery with your wife. And have you bugged out, man. Alright? These people do it for their own filthy lucre's sake, man. Alright? Their main objective is getting that basket full. Alright? When it should be waking up the elect, the house of Israel, the lost sheep, as the scripture says, man. Alright? These people call on JC, they welcome everybody. Alright? it's complete madness. So the Lord ain't dealing with these churches, man. So the ones that find lesson. Until next time, say shalom and a Bible.